Good morning. I'll give everybody a couple of minutes to get in here. Hope everyone is doing well today. Seems like the true crime community just cannot get over everything and move forward. It is just absolutely devastating. I normally do not even cover such things. And the reason I'm going to cover it is because of the way that I personally was treated as a subscriber. Back in the very beginning, in the first months of Summer's disappearance, Jackson Pierce and I believe Gray Hughes covered this right off the bat. And I also know that it was turned into law enforcement. And she's still listed on the FBI's missing list. Many creators have been to Miss Julie's Facebook page and has accused her of being Rosemarie. And she has put up pictures showing the differences. There's posts even as far back as 2017 of her even showing that herself, her saying that that she does look like Rosemary, but she shows the differences. And what happened this time is a family that is fed up and they were going to teach people a lesson, a hard lesson. So I went over and I tried to tell Miss Daisy, look, Jackson Pierce and Gray Hughes has already done this. And it's been turned into the FBI, and it's been turned into the Sheriff's Department in Wisconsin. They verified this is not Rosemary Bly. And she started screaming at Kimberly to block these trolls. And that was her exact words, was block these trolls. Well, wait a minute, because it's on subscribers only. You are now calling your subscribers trolls. I take issue with that. The very people that has made your britches big enough, Miss Daisy, you are now calling trolls. And I was timed out. After the first time out, every time I spoke whether I mentioned that or not. I was timed out. But this goes for any creator out there. Your subs, your subscribers are your financial backers. Your subscribers is what makes your platform grow. Your subscribers are your family. You do not put it on subscribers only and then turn and call your subscribers and your family trolls and start throwing them out and start blocking them. I personally have unsubscribed. Now, anybody that temporarily fell for that, you have more than 30 days to get a refund from super stickers and super chats. All you have to do is file for the refund. You can get your money back. On the memberships, demand a refund. If you do not get your money back, file file agreements through YouTube. It's really easy steps to take. Do not let people like that take your hard-earned money. I say it again. Anybody that you give super stickers and super chats to that weasel you out of your money, you have at least, I have heard up to 90 days, but I know for a fact that you have 30 days to get your money back. I urge anybody to get their money back from that because that was nothing but a money grab situation yesterday. I seen memberships being sold because of that. If you feel like that you were sold a membership on false pretenses, demand a refund. And that's not just with her, that's with any creator. Good morning, Bama girl. It is on a creator to do their due diligence and look into any evidence that is presented and to look into a case before they bring it to the people. And in the very beginning, when she said, well, who is Christopher Larson? Is he important to the case? I paused because that told me She had not done any research on the case. If you do not know who Christopher Larson is, you have not looked into Rosemary Blythe's case. And had she let Christopher Larson onto the panel within the first 3 minutes, it all could have been cleared up. Period. She blocked Christopher Larson to where he could not even type in the chat. He was trying to tell everybody, this is not my wife. That's not my wife's voice. So again, anybody out there that gave super chats or super stickers and you feel like you were hoodooed, you can get a refund for the next 30 days. She should apologize to Christopher Larson and those children. Normally, like I said, I do not touch things like this, but the way that I was treated, and then I made a simple post that Rose was still alive, and I put it on the community wall. And she came over here and she's like, wow, I support you. I would not have done this to you. I can't believe that you put this post up. Well, wait, you did do this to me. You treated me like I was a pile of crap. Your mods blocked me and timed me out and called me trolls and everything else because I tried to help you. I tried to stop you from embarrassing yourself and from everybody in the true crime community from attacking you. But instead of listening to anybody, you decided to block us all. So don't come over here and say you have supported me because what you done to me yesterday was not support. What do you think that done? Because her children are old enough to see headlines like, oh, Rosemary Bly found alive. Trudy, it's not hard to find. Just yesterday in the headlines, it was Rosemary found alive. And the person runs a page, something about farm critters and crazies. I don't know the exact name of it. Crazy farm critters or something to that effect. But those children need to apologize too because they are big enough to catch those headlines. They are big enough to be on YouTube. And what do you think that does to their hearts? It was a waste of time. And then she remarked, well, at least it's not as bad as Ziggy Bones. So that told me that she knew exactly what she was doing and didn't care. And then she said, well, y'all run summer stuff all the time. What's the difference? Well, I haven't seen any headlines that says, oh, we found summer, and then you click on it and it not be summer. Be accountable for your actions. Be accountable for what you say. And go ask for a refund. That's the only way that people are going to teach these creators and to make them stop is to stop the flow of the money. When you stop the money grab, you can correct the behavior. Only give money to your favorite creators that you know are being 100% truthful and 100% honest. A, a money is supposed to be a tip for doing something well and good. People should not throw money just every time they enter somebody's panel just because. And I see it happen all the time. There was money being thrown up there yesterday just because of the subject title, just because there was 2,000 people in there. And what happens is one gives and then the other one has to outdo that one. That's not how it should work. It was meant to be a thank you or a tip system. Right, Stacy. It was, I mean, like I said in the beginning, Jackson and Gray researched this back in the very first months of summer being gone. I will be so glad when summer's case is over. It has tore this true crime community apart from its core. It has just become, like somebody said a while ago, a dump show. If the money would stop, we might see some different results with certain people. Well, Rhonda, I just asked to be treated like a subscriber, and I was called a troll, and I was blocked, just like a lot of other subscribers were. So I'm going to say it again. Anybody that gave money over there yesterday, go to YouTube, get a refund, and then go to her and demand a refund for any membership fees. I would. And again, that goes for any creator. If you feel like you have been pressured or hoodooed into giving money, you have that right to ask for a refund. And it's like an automatic refund on the super chats and the super stickers if you ask for that refund. Just go into your YouTube studio. Well, you can also go to that creator and ask for a membership refund too. That was just some straight up, like I said, your subscribers are what helps you grow. Your subscribers are your family. You put it on subscribers mode because you only want to give that to your family. And when you have it on subscribers mode only, and then you start screaming at your mods to kick the trolls out and get the trolls out of here, And you are referring to your subscribers. You are referring to your family and the people who have supported you and the people who have financially backed you and the people who have helped you grow. Shame on you. Shame on you. That is the biggest takeaway I took from that whole shit show yesterday. Well, that one statement that I just said got my attention and bothered me worse than anything. And as I've said before, I have a small group of subscribers, but they're faithful. They're always here, no matter what. And I appreciate that. And there is no way on this earth that I could turn on my subs and call you guys trolls and start blocking you guys one after the other because you disagree with something that I say. So I unsubscribed. So she doesn't have to worry about putting it on subscribers only anymore to cuss and holler and scream at me. Oh, thank you, Wild Fox. I appreciate that so much. I will add that to my new computer fund. Thank you, Mama Matt. I love you guys too. I am just so tired of seeing all you guys just get walked over in some of these channels. And I've never just went off on a channel before. And I apologize for that. I am just so angry. I'm angry at the way Rosemarie's husband was treated. I'm angry at the way I was treated. I'm angry at the way other subs were treated, disrespected. I didn't even watch Sharon Benny last night. I went and watched Chasing. after this little crap show happened. I don't think anybody's in a shed, Queenie. I don't believe anything that he says either. And Candace isn't gone. She was on Ernie's panel yesterday. And if she can get herself up on Ernie's panel, she's not gone. She was either sick or drunk, or sick and drunk, or a little of both. Yeah, she's supposed to be really sick, but if you go back and listen to that, there's one point in it she's trying to hold back from laughing. She's borderline. I mean, well, she does laugh. So how do you know that that's not another one of her hoax? And she's been camping a lot since she got that camping equipment. And it has been cold here, so if she's been sleeping on the ground, it's possible that she does have a bit of a cold. But I did hear her, holding back laughing. So I think it's just another. In JLR, he has already been to prison once for interfering in an investigation, and he's going to keep on. Like the video he put up that he was going to send on fake evidence. Do you know that it is a Class C felony in the state of Tennessee to fake evidence in an investigation? I looked up the state code for that because I have been wondering when and at what point the state of Tennessee is going to say that, we've had enough of these people interfering in an investigation. And it was like, don't quote me on this because I don't even know where I wrote it down at right now at this point. It was like code 39 102 something. And in parentheses, it was 2020, and it was interfering in an investigation. It's a Class C felony, faking evidence. Yes, they open the mail and they read it before Don gets it. I don't sub to JLR either. And everybody keeps going back to his videos, to Sherry and to Allie. But after I seen them giving money, I don't believe anything that's said in those videos because they're being paid to produce a story. They're being paid to produce a good video. And when money is exchanged, these people are no longer any good to put on a witness stand. We so badly want Don and Candace to go be indicted by a grand jury. But everybody that can testify to the grand jury has accepted money in one form or the other and has been brought out into the public eye. So, how can they testify against anything when they have been seen on camera accepting payment for any story that they have told? Even Dudley Ajan. In one video, you see him pushing something across the table to him. Jody Sue Brown, she was sure to call the FBI agent and let them know that $500 had been put into her account. See, her story about these fake FBI agents, she tells that for a reason. And the reason being is so she cannot be called up to the grand jury. And the reason it is so important to her is to push that point of how she received that $500. But if you notice in her story, the $500 was not returned, and it's very easy to return money on a credit card or a debit card. You call your bank and have them wire it right back. But that wasn't done. She kept that payment. It was paid to her after the Summerwells marathon. And it was supposedly sent by the fake FBI agent. Well, how if Chris is an actor too, how do you explain him doing interviews for the West Boys? You can go back and look where he does interviews on court TV and stuff. Interviews that most people have never seen. So y'all are going on the assumption that all Freemasons are bad, like I was talking about the other day with the assumption of all pagans are bad, right? Because when your kids get sick, you rush them to the nearest children's hospital, right? And if you don't have insurance, it's children's hospitals are normally covered by what? A Shriner or a Shriner's policy or a Shriner's hospital if they really get sick with something bad. LARP is a live action role player. Right. I agree with you, Leanne. I respect Chris. I don't even think a lot of those people in the Lamplight Theater or the Seventh day Adventists would even qualify to be Masons. They're not stable enough. And there's a big difference in Masons and Illuminati. So make yourself clear. Are you talking about Illuminati or are you talking about Masons? Right. Okay, because somebody is wrong occasionally, does that make him human or does that make him is it because he's human or is it because he's a Mason or an Illuminati? What I'm saying is not everything is a conspiracy. Who is it? Okay, who is that master? Now there's more than one Jamie Wilson in that area. And he wasn't the only one who hit the wrong Jamie Wilson. And let's talk about that for a minute. Y'all do realize that that guy lives right down the road from them too and has a red truck and a blue van. Now, I did question yesterday if the drug program that Ernie was over was not one of the drug programs that Tim or Don was in. See, we have to get into stuff that we can actually prove at some point. Come on, let's go out. It's like the other day. I've got a Native American marking on my neck, but somebody come in here and swore to God that it was a Satanist occult marking on my neck. People throw judgments around without knowing exactly what they're even talking about. So let's be clear about what we're throwing around and make sure that we are putting out facts. Because on one of my videos that I made, I turned my neck and somebody says, "Oh, what's that?" I said, "I don't know. What's what?" "Oh, well, you're a Satanist." "Well, fuck you." Don't even take the time to ask me about something that's on my neck. You just assume. So don't assume. Well, it did offend me, Tanya. And that's where I go into, I try and I try and I try to explain. When people throw the word pagan around, there's 15 different kinds of pagan. And Native American actually falls into that. And just because we we worship what we can see, the trees, the grass, the one creator of all, we fall into that pagan belief. Does that make me a bad person? So be careful throwing that word pagan around because that offends the hell out of me. Be more specific. Satanist, Luciferian, Wiccans. There's words for these other pagans that you're referring to. I'm none of those. Use those words. Look into what you are referring to. Well, we've got way away from what this chat was supposed to be about because it was turned into conspiracy theories and talking about people that it should not even be turned about. I should not even have to defend other creators because they may wear a ring or they may or may not be something that they are, they aren't. I've been around this world for a long time and I've met good and bad people that fit into a lot of different categories. And I've took a lot of sick children to a lot of Shriners hospitals that's been built by Masons. And I've known a lot of sick kids that would have died had it not been for those hospitals. And those hospitals, if you don't know anything about Shriners hospitals, they treat diseases that nobody else will treat. They do transplants that nobody else will touch. When there's no other hope for children, Shriners offer that hope. And for a parent that has no other hope in this world, they'll take whatever they can get. And if you've never been a desperate parent, you really just don't care where that help or hope comes from. And you're glad for any organization that's out there. And that's really all I've got to say about that. I do know that they do some good. Maybe not all of them, but that goes back to churches. Not all churches are good, but not all of them are bad either. Not every Boy Scout organization is good. Not every one of them is bad. You can't look at this world like that. Come on, Cookie. If you look at this world like that, you end up a paranoid person that's always trapped in some kind of conspiracy theory in your own mind all the time. And yes, there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there that I consider myself a conspiracy realist about, especially a lot of things that the government is behind. But the Masons aren't what they used to be. Now, if you want to start talking about the New World Order, I've got a whole different theory on that. I can get plumb realist about the New World Order. But that goes along with the government. You're exactly right, Leanne. It's right. This is about the money. This is not about conspiracy theories. This is not about bad churches. This is not about Illuminati. This is not about Masons. This is not about cold elements. This is not about witches. This is not about pagans. This is about who can make the most money. What I'm talking about is everybody in here trying to link even the good people to a conspiracy theory. Yeah, this started out as refunds and supporting these creators that are draining money off of Summer's back and now Rosemarie's back. You can't do a class action lawsuit, but you can ask for refunds through YouTube. You can go back to the creator and ask for a refund there. And that's what people need to do that has been hoodooed by these creators. If you feel like you have been pressured into giving money for any reason by a creator, or a creator was not truthful, like the situation yesterday, go back and ask for a refund. If you feel like Ernie Shell has hoodooed you out of any money, go file for a refund. Go to PayPal, ask for a refund. They shaved her head because she had super lice, bugs so bad they couldn't get rid of them. I honestly believe that it was that simple. And then there may be a possibility if they were hitting each other in the head with shovels that her head could have been shaved to treat a head wound. But if the bugs were that bad, there was no treating those lice. Her mother did not even brush her hair. Her head was a hotbed for bugs. And until we can rake all this bull crap to the side and get down to just the facts. And y'all, we know very little facts about what happened. We're probably never going to find Summer. Stop giving money. Her reward fund is about to expire. Nobody has heard anything about this advocacy fund that's supposed to get all this money. That's what people needs to be looking into. Who's going to get the $75,000? You hear nothing about who's about to benefit from her being gone. I don't know. Why does Jody Sue keep hers half shaved? I keep mine half shaved because it's cooler that way. Mine is so thick and so heavy, it gives me headaches. I have a problem with migraine headaches, but it's a heck of a lot cooler in the summertime than having 40 pounds of hair on your head. And that's just something that a lot of us do here in the South. No, I didn't hear that. Some of her hair, some of her pictures, she almost looks like she's a strawberry blonde. Cookie! We have new neighbors, and Cookie is trying to figure out where all this noise is coming from. It sounds like they have kids. and she's not used to any kids being in the neighborhood whatsoever. I hope they are too. If they're not, I'll straighten them out, that's for sure. Sounds like they're pretty young, maybe like college students or something. We have a big college here, so we have college kids move in and out when the semesters start. Now, that's a statement that I would agree with. The mental illness runs deep, and I'm still in the theory right now that maybe, just maybe, they have stashed Summer somewhere. Somewhere in all of this, I have to believe that the lack of emotion is because they know that she's still alive. I'm hoping. But in one aspect, I do miss Don because at least he did talk about Summer all the time. Candace, she's just all about Candace and where her next drink of alcohol or her next drugs is coming from. But at least you could get Don to talk about Summer. And what I will say about Chris McDonough, I think he's ahead of us on all of this. And I think he's got a pretty good idea how this case is going to end up. I think he already knows. He's smart like that. And I don't mean that like he knows where she's at. I think that he knows just by the interviews um, whether she's still with us or not because he knows how to read these people. He's been around a long time. This isn't his first rodeo. So we'll see. I do think that it was planned. I do think that there was a practice run. Oh, absolutely. Be careful who you're supporting. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I had an earbud come out, so I'm twisting that back in. That's what that. I hate these little bitty buds that fit all the way in your ear. This is like my second pair, third pair in the past 2 weeks, trying to find a pair that works for me, and I don't think these are it. I'm going to have to just break down and spend the money on Apple EarPods, I guess, but they are just so dang expensive. These were skull candy, and my ears are just too small for the whole earbud on these, but I guess they sound better. Oh, that would be nice, angels. Right. That's the problem I'm having is, my ears are just so small that they just stay a little while and then they go rolling away. I know eventually Cookie's gonna play chase with one of them. When she returns it to me, it's not gonna be worth having. Shoot me an email, Angels, and I'll get you an address out. No, but I'll get one listed today. Check this afternoon, or I've got physical therapy at 2 o'clock, so I'll do it this afternoon after physical therapy. Thank you. Oh, I know. I wish hoodie weather would just never stop. I wish it was never ending hoodie weather. I love my hoodies. I hate cold, cold weather, but I like it just cool enough to wear hoodies all the time. That's the one thing I look forward to every year is the first cool day, and I holler, hoodie weather. Exactly. Hoodie, jeans, and boots. And I am a boot person. I have got a collection of boots that's just out of this world. I broke down a couple of weeks ago and bought a new pair of Nikes for the summer. And I hated to do that and start packing up my boots, but that's the way it rolls, right? All right, Leanne, thank you for being here and supporting my channel. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you later. I like that Leanne. She's cool. Which all my subs were. I have the coolest bunch on YouTube. Don't tell anybody I said that. I'm biased. Well, we're going to have to just start back with the few facts we know. We're going to have to take it all the way back to the beginning and start with the basic facts. And the basic facts are she was seen walking out the door. She was not seen going into the basement. She was seen walking out the door. That's what the boys told the police officers. She was seen outside her home. And that's if you believe she got gone on the 15th. I've been trying to think outside the box. Who are the people that has not been brought to light? Who are the people that's around that they knew that hasn't been looked at yet? Because if she was sent off for a while, we're looking for somebody outside the box. Because Don said we will never find her. Well, to accept that challenge, we got to think outside the box. No, I don't think it's Jackie Dobbs. I think Jackie Dobbs was just a good excuse. I think he was. Well, maybe an associate of Tim Mullen. Right. JD was in a first attempt at misdirection. There went another one of those earbuds. And I don't know where it went. There it is. I hate these things. These people have moved all over the country. They have been everywhere. A whole bunch of them, including Tim Mullins. Tim Mullen is an implant to Tennessee. He's not from there. Yeah, I seen where Harsh Reality has done that. Maybe he can do some good. Ernie Shell has always been on my radar. Let me bounce something off of you guys. You know how the church had the missing and abducted class or whatever it was? I don't remember what they called it exactly. Y'all remember what I'm talking about? What did they call that? Drill. Drill. Perfect. Okay, well, they also had a like a shooter drill, and it said that if you was in church and if you got chill bumps up your arms and your neck for any reason, to lay on the floor and stay away from the windows until the shooting was over and blah blah blah. Well, if I'm in a church and I get chill bumps for any reason and up my neck, I'm not going to be at that church. Period. It shouldn't have to be a shooter drill. I'm just not going to belong to a church where I get chill bumps up my arms and my neck. But what if, and this is just a what if they tried to have an active shooter drill like they do in school, or an active abduction drill, and they hired somebody like Ernie Shell, or already knew somebody like Ernie Shell from like a halfway house? Think about that for a minute. Think about that for just a minute. If you got fools up on the hill just running around and kids everywhere, anything bad could go wrong. I'm feeling Cookie's water bill. Here you go, baby. Good girl. Oh, that was me running water. That wasn't a fan. I was filling Cookie's water bowls. I'm sorry about that. She was needing a drink of water bad. I apologize for that. She was demanding water, and if I don't give it to her, she'll go drink out the toilet. And I don't. I had just dropped some blue things to make the water blue a couple days ago, so I don't want her in there drinking out the toilet. um, what I was saying was, what if they made that an active shooter drill or made that an active abduction drill or a combination of both? And you've got people like Hunter Predator Nation running around at a church or on that hill, and a child accidentally gets hurt. That would be one way that you could get a whole group of people to go along with the cover up. Because I have been racking my brain. How can you get a whole group of people to go along with the cover up, right? Because I know when I went to church, if I screwed up and I hurt one of my kids, my church family would be the first ones that come down on me. Church people are very critical of one another. They are very judgmental of one another. I have very rarely seen church people defend each other the way that these people have. And there's something that is holding these people together like glue. Oh, thank you, Seneca. I appreciate that. I will put that towards the new computer fund. I so appreciate that. Right, and there's something holding these people together like glue. So I have wondered, and I heard what general awareness, somebody on general awareness that worked with Ernie at a halfway house. Well, we know that Tim and Don met somewhere at a, they call it a retreat. Retreat is another word for halfway house or drug rehabilitation house, usually. So I'm thinking if they had shooter drills and they had abduction drills, well, they have active shooter drills in schools. And technically, that is a school. Well, technically, they have a school there at the Seventh day Adventist. So, would they have made an active shooter drill? Let's, let's think this thing logically through. Could they have hired somebody like Predator Hunter Nation to do an active shooter drill? And even if they used rubber bullets, that would be enough to harm or kill a child by accident. And that would be enough to cause these people a major cover up because it could shut down the school, right? It could cause a lot of bad publicity for the Seventh day Adventists. And this is just a theory. This is not anything that I have that's factual. This is just an idea that's been floating around because I keep asking myself what's holding these people together like glue, and what is Ernie Shell's involvement from the beginning? And what is it that makes Benny so mad that I talked about the church? He was mad at Sheriff for talking about the church. And it's because Tim Mullen comes down on him for people talking about the church. Well, Dotson was already fired by this time from East Lawn. Dotson, but I have found other connections. Robin Lane's first husband is connected to crematories over on the North Carolina side. But I have spoken on the search dogs already. If even her ashes was up on that hill, the search dogs would have detected that. Yeah, I've got a video up on that, Andy, and there's a missing reel of film. And neither will they talk to me about it. He can seem to talk to everybody else, but he won't talk to me. Maybe it's because I call out all these um, e-beggars. Not really sure. But if y'all go back and pull Robin's interview with the Rogersville Review, you pull Robin's interview with Chris McDonough, and then you pull her interview with WJHL. Pull those three interviews, and she has changed her story three different times. Now, the truth always stands, right? If the truth is standing, there is no reason for it to change, correct? Why does her story change three times? And I just gave you three sources to go check: the Rogersville Review, Chris McDonough's interview, WJHL. She changes her story three times. If the truth is standing, she shouldn't fall. But three times her story changed. That's the problem that I have with Robin Lane. Now, is she just covering for her friends? Could be. Is she just covering for Summer? Could be. But truth needs to stand. I believe that he knows Ernie Shell and Mullen. Or Ernie Shell does know Mullen. Feel like he knew Don too. I don't know about the Bernards. David Dotson actually gave out more information and more negative information than anybody else. He come out and told us Candace was not gone for 2 minutes, that she was gone for 20 minutes. I found David Dotson more credible than I found Robin Lane. He told us the videos that she showed me and that she showed the police swimming that day, it was the boys, Hunter, and Summer. Not just Hunter and Summer. He pointed out straight from the beginning something's wrong here. And then David left the church once he saw that everybody was lying. So I found David Dotson more credible than I found Robin Lane or the rest of the church. David said straight out with unmasked, something's wrong here. Hey, Crime Time. No, I did not hear. What did John Walsh's daughter say? Oh, yeah, David Dotson lied too, but he did have some interesting truths to say. Who's him? Oh, wow. Whoa. That's terrible. I'm trying to figure out how to drop a link and I can't get a link dropped. I've never done that before on my phone and it's not allowing me to do that. More. No. Yeah, I can't get it to copy. Mm. Yeah, I can't get it to do on this iPhone. It lets me do it on my tablet, but it's not letting me do it on this iPhone. But that would be perfect to cover, though, for somebody to run the biggest trafficking ring in the world. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out. I'll look into that a little later for sure. I've heard that about that Underground Railroad too. I've read a lot of negative things about those guys. They're supposed to be helping and they're actually hurting. It's goddess.syn77 at gmail.com. Yeah, she wanted to pack a bag of snacks or something. My daughter went through a period right before she turned 18 to where she was just running off and she would just trust anybody. And I told her, which she's married now, I told her, I said, it's like a million wonders that you didn't get kidnapped and trafficked. Because she would just, and not just guys, she would meet anybody on social media and she would go meet them. She would meet them at the coffee shop just to be social. And I'm like, you just have no idea. And I would stay on her all the time. Don't go meet people that you don't know. And she wouldn't listen. And it wasn't that long ago. I mean, she just turned 21. And I said it wasn't just men, it was anybody. She's like, oh, Mom, it's just coffee. Stop freaking out. It's not like I'm going to hotels and meeting up with people. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. You just don't understand. It's goddess, GODDESS dot SYN77 at gmail.com. Oh, luckily nothing happened to her, Tanya. It was just, the fact that it could have. But I lost my oldest son to drugs. He died back in July. I've told his story before. It's on a video here. I think the title of it is What Makes Us Human. Hey, Helen. Thank you, Cynical. He was born with a hole in his heart, and he made it to 30. And then he decided to try drugs, and it caused an enlargement in his heart, and then he couldn't stop the progression of the disease. And he died like a 90 something year old person with advanced cardiac heart failure. So every day it goes by, it's a little easier to talk about. It's a little easier to deal with. But my heart's always heavy and I always miss him. So I can't understand how a parent doesn't know what their child's favorite candy is or their lack of emotion, or to say, well, she only liked to twirl, and that's the only thing they can tell you about a child. She liked princesses, but we dressed her like a boy, and still no emotion, still no plea, no plea for her return whatsoever. I have seen more strangers plead for her return than I ever seen out of her mom and dad. I just don't understand that. I don't see the circles of grieving on their face like what is on mine. I look at pictures from before my son got sick to pictures after, and it's just been 9 months, and I have aged 20 years. I have more circles, more wrinkles, more everything, and I do not see it on these people. I just don't understand it. Thank you, Crime Time. I appreciate that. I will put that towards my new computer fund. I really appreciate that. Oh, Helen, that baby looks just like Don's daughter, Margie. If you ever seen a picture of Margie Wells, that baby does belong to Don. She looks identical to the Wells side of the family. She has to belong to the Wells side. And if you see a picture of Don the Third, if you look at his eyes, his and Summer's eyes are the same. Yeah, I see a resemblance to Don's mom too, but especially to Margie. I mean, she's a dead ringer to Margie. When I seen a picture of Margie, I about fell on the floor because her and Summer were just identical. But I just do not see the emotion or the grief moving these people whatsoever. If that was my child missing, there would not be a tree left on that hill because I would have done had them all cut down looking for that kid. I would have done had every bit of that grass cut away. I would have done had every weed pulled up. The whole 11 acres. I could have done had the whole 11 acres cleared by now. And that's another thing. The whole 11 acres was never checked. I think they got almost 4 acres back. And that was as far back as they could get at the time. I heard somebody say that Candace was hanging posters before the first WJHL interview. Well, show me because I've never seen it. Please show me. I think she was already gone off that property before they even called the police. We're talking about people who loathed the police, that hated the police with everything they had. If y'all remember very back in the very beginning when this started, Candace would not even be 100% truthful where all they had been swimming that day. She said the Fort Patrick Henry Dam. Well, there's a whole bunch of swimming holes along, just as nasty too, along that Fort Patrick Henry Dam area that's just as wooded. Now they very well may have went to that horse pond, but they could have very well went over to a different swimming hole too. They could have went here and then said, "Oh, well, the water's not very deep here. Let's go over here." Because she gave them 2 or 3 locations before she finally settled on the horse pond. So this all goes back to whether or not the parents are even being honest about what day she disappeared and where she disappeared from. Well, you know, Churchill Rescue Squad is listed as a religious organization, and it has crossed my mind as to why. Why is a rescue squad listed as a religious organization? Because they get grants from the state, and there's supposed to be a separation in church and state. So they should not be taking any donations from church and state. And they should certainly not be listed as a religious organization, right? But they are. And there was a lot, a lot of photos of Summer taken at that rescue squad. A lot of pictures of Summer around the fire trucks and stuff. Summer was familiar with the people at the rescue squad without any doubt. And you already know there was one woman convicted of theft from that rescue squad. Is there a link there? Of course there is. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Like I've told y'all before, anything that I tell you, do not take my word for it. Look it up. Exactly, to avoid taxes. But they're also taking in donations from, well, they come up with the churches when you Google Seventh day Adventist churches in that area. They come up with the other 22 Seventh day Adventist churches in the Tennessee, that particular Tennessee area. Oh, Tanya, I know. I live in the deep south. That's why I don't buy into their organized religion. Organized religion is nothing but some more money scams. I've seen it too many times in my life. Like I told y'all, when you post an ATM machine right outside the sanctuary doors, that should be your first clue that something is wrong here. Tithes and donations should be to make repairs to the church, to pay the electric bills and water bills and so on in the churches. Everybody else should have normal 4, 5, 6 days a week jobs or whatever. It is not up to that congregation to support you. Back in my dad and my granddad's days, the preacher had a job during the week and he preached on Sundays, Wednesdays, if we were lucky. The church did not pay a salary to the preacher. The congregation should not build the preachers these big houses and stuff. We used to have small houses that the preachers lived in and stuff. They weren't big, extravagant $1 million homes. Helen, if you think about it, every one of these mountaintops that belong to the Cherokees all through the South was sacred land. It's not just Ben Hill Road. All throughout Tennessee and Alabama and Georgia, all that was sacred land at one time. All these mountaintops, and that mountain is that top to that mountain, it is too tall to be a burial ground. They did not bury that tall, but they certainly, it could have been a ceremonial point, a ceremonial mound. But just from living around here, and I'm not from Tennessee, but I have lived there. Um, but I am from the South, and from experiences with Indian mounds and stuff, it is too tall to be a burial ground, but it is tall enough to be a ceremonial ground. Sure, anybody can ask any question they want over here. I've spoke on bad land and bad juju. I have heard that, Mimi, and I have spoke also about Marlena Crawford, the mother to that child, being the voice that you hear on the milk jug videos. So, yes, I believe that to be correct. If you subscribe to a channel, you should not ever be fussed at. If you are fussed at on a channel, you should immediately leave that channel and unsubscribe. If you have donated to that channel, ask for a refund. If you've got a membership to that channel and they are bitching on you, ask for a refund on your membership. Well, Andy, the mother has been seen back up there since then on that property, so she couldn't be too mad, right? Oh, thank you, Chappie. I appreciate that. I will put that towards the computer fund for sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Right. And I'm not going to have all that over here. And you see, I don't use moderators. This is, I've been doing this for months and I don't use moderators because we don't have bullying over here. Like I said, it's a small channel, but all my subs are like family, and they're faithful subs, and I'm faithful to you guys. I don't turn on you and call you trolls when we all disagree, or if you disagree with me, or I've not figured that one out, Mimi. I heard that too. But I also heard that there was some kind of paperwork in Wisconsin that had something to do with kids. Wild Fox, I've wondered if they didn't either not take her to the hospital or not properly give her medicine. But staph is a very quick killing disease. Staph takes over really quick. It does not need any help. Once once you turn septic, that's just about it. In my opinion, if she was septic and staph and had septic, she should have been at a hospital, not at home. But that's just my opinion. That's what I heard that they were referring to Ziggy getting her daughter back, but I don't know. But I have also heard that there was paperwork in Wisconsin that was something about kids, but that could have been because one of her kids had just turned 18 and she was finishing up with the systems in Wisconsin. I don't know. Guys, I hate to cut this short and I am really enjoying it, but I have got to get to physical therapy in 45 minutes. And I have really enjoyed our chat today, but I have already missed physical therapy once. If I miss it again, I'll be in trouble. Yeah, MRSA is just basically another word for staph and sepsis. But you all have a blessed day, and I love you, and thanks so much for being here. And remember, if you feel like you have been bullied into giving money, or you feel like you have been bullied into a membership, get your refunds. Don't let people do that to you. But I love you guys, and I will see y'all on the flip side.